Or it can be all you. What do you think?
Hi guys, how are you?
Hey. Good.
Good to meet you. I'm pretty
We are
good, pretty
super
good.
excited over here. It seems like the community is as well.
Yeah, they're very happy. This is awesome. I'm so glad you guys are doing this.
Yeah, so thanks for being here, guys. I'm Layne. I'm on the CryptoKitties core team. I'm on the product team, which means I do a lot of things. But right now that's mostly figuring out what's going to make the game the most interesting and fun for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It also means that if something broke, it might have been my fault. So I'm sorry. There's something that happened recently that you hated. We try really hard to keep everybody happy and do good things, but stuff happens.
I think you're doing a great job.
I'm in charge of making the fancy cat recipes and doing traits and that kind of stuff. So if you have ideas for what makes it interesting or fun to hunt for those, then I want to hear your input.
All right, let me ask the chat. What do they think? Do you guys have any feedback or any ideas to make the traits for the fancies extra exciting or interesting?
Someone asked how many undiscovered fancies are currently available. There are quite a few. I have a spreadsheet with all of the ones that are missing. I don't want to give you a hard number because we put out recipes all the time, but there's quite a few. There are definitely, and we have been with the newsletter. We started teasing them a lot more.
Mm-hmm. But I noticed that.
Yeah, there are quite a few fancies still to be found, and there will be many, many more. So keep looking hard.
Hack the spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh.
Also, there's a spreadsheet the community put together that I keep an eye on that I think is really cool. You guys put together like Fancy Cat schedule or something, I think it's called. And that's really, really cool for me to see like what your ideas are of what they're going to be and which ones are out. So, yeah.
Jihaz has an interesting question. Will there be more ninjas? Because he is a ninja specialist.
Ooh.
I know why he's asking that.
So for the ninja question, ninjas have been. So our comms team has been working really hard to sort of tie them into a storyline, and they're really fun for us. I think you could expect more ninjas.
Ooh, nice.
Neither confirm nor deny, but you could probably expect to see a couple more ninjas popping around.
Wow, that's awesome.
What?
All right, let's see what else. Could you talk about the purpose of family jewels? I don't know if that's a fancy question. Well, let me know.
It's attribute related. So fancy, like the jewels, there's a full blog post going out about this really soon.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially we wanted to make sure that we could highlight really interesting elements about the cats that were true already on the blockchain, but that we maybe weren't highlighting. The sad thing that happened was that some cats were misallocated a badge that they shouldn't have had, which was really unfortunate for some users, and we're still working through that, and we want to hear lots of feedback from the community about what they want to see there. But it was a way for us to highlight and really recognize the cats that had the first of certain traits. So it was just a dimension to make the cats interesting, basically was the purpose there.
Yeah, I love what you guys did with them. I was very excited to see that some of my cats, that I wasn't expecting them to have anything, and then they showed up with some diamonds and some gilded, and I was like, yes, score. So it felt good, at least on my end. Okay, let's read any more questions.
Well, Ernie have some backstory or related fancy, like the description alludes to more to come. So Ernie was the product hunt. Well, so some of Axiom Zen, like most of you probably know that the parent company that built CryptoKitties is called Axiom Zen, and one of the like sort of sister projects to CryptoKitties is something called Toby, and it's a tab manager.
Okay.
And it had won a Product Hunt Award the year before. So Product Hunt is just like, it's a platform we care a lot about, and we care about the community there. So we were just honoring Earn.com, who had won this year. So Ernie was in response to that team winning. And it was just in honor of them, but there wouldn't be the story was meant to allude to the idea. There's lots of really good products on Product Hunt, but there's no more.
Gotcha. Psyched out Dota. Any plans of expanding to Europe or another time zone? Oftentimes the game has some troubles at the same time. Interesting.
Well, we're definitely working on having support in multiple time zones.
Yes.
Cool.
We're trying really hard to make sure that we have people awake at all hours, which mostly just means that we don't sleep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, like with the
Oh my goodness. I got a good
yeah,
question.
I think we can expect to see at the very least more support in different countries, and hopefully we can make it more international in months to come.
Awesome. Funny question that I also want to see. Will the option to breed fancies with other fancies to make super fancies, and then he ends it at that. That would be very interesting.
Oh yeah, someone saying Ernie dump. That's so funny. Oh yeah, well, that is something that we've thought about, the idea of like what would happen if you bred more fancies to make other fancies. So
Yeah.
I mean, don't get rid of any of your fancies, because we are truly always looking for more ways. Like, we're aware of the fact that sometimes fancies even though they're the really cool looking ones and they're really unique, they do look the most similar to each other. So we're always thinking of dimensions to make them more interesting. So yeah, like, hang on to your fancies. They're always going to be cool, and we're always going to be trying to reward at the time breeding up to them. So
I like it.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And some feedback that I got too about the making the fancies have a hard limit was a pretty big deal, especially for I guess in the view of like the community and value. The fact that the fancy could just be made, forever or whatnot was scary, in a sense of like, oh, at one point they might, just there be too many and they're not going to be very valuable. So setting a number that people can see now, and you're getting like number 2 of 500, I thought was a really good move. Personally, as a player, I felt like that made it extra exciting for me to kind of go after. And yeah, I think the community agrees with that as well. It's a good job on that.
It's really cool to hear that. It felt very fundamental to us to make it like it's a game based on scarcity in a lot of ways, and so we thought that making that more obvious in the product was something that made a lot of sense. But we did actually get some negative feedback. It wasn't overwhelming. Like, I think feedback you're giving right now is pretty indicative of how people thought, but there were still people who were upset that we had limited the number of fancies if they were trying to breed to them.
I think of course there's going to be some players where it just doesn't benefit them. They made some decisions, and nobody knows how the game's going to play out. That's some of the mystery. So when you choose to do something and then you find out there's information that it's not going to benefit you as well, it was fair information. Everyone was on the same playing field when they were going for that fancy or not going for that fancy. And it's kind of the nature of the game. But neutrally, I feel like I don't go for many fancies, and I was still excited to see that change. So that's just my opinion.
Oh, it looks like there's a bunch of conversation now about doing both limited and unlimited.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Fancies would be cool. Time limit. So for time-based fancies, you're thinking it'd be interesting if we like made a fancy recipe and then we only gave you 3 hours or 3 days to breed to it, and then it disappeared? Is that what the community's thinking? Can someone say yes or no?
Yeah, can you guys answer that question in chat? I think that's where they were going with that as well.
Yeah, it seems like a couple of yeses.
That's cool. That's a really cool idea. Yeah.
1 month, Alan says.
1 month.
Oh my
1 month is well, if we did the 1 month, it's worth noting there are cats right now that have been out for more than a month and haven't been found. So
ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's some cats who have been like really hanging out for a while.
Oh my good. You guys heard it here first. There is cats that are unknown and their traits are available, and we just haven't hit them yet. That's awesome. That's exciting news.
Very cool. Yeah, limited time after discovery. I like that. I'm writing that down. I think that could be really cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's see what else. Go ahead.
So yeah, no, I mean, this is what makes CryptoKitties so much fun. We love hearing things from the communities that are just great ideas, and then we go and we incorporate that into the product. That's
Cool.
we feel like that makes us stronger. And it gives, at the end of the day, it's all about you players. It's all about how much fun you're having. So if you have a good idea, we are more than happy to listen.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd like to bring up something that I saw a few of our players kind of go for, and it was really interesting to watch because it seemed like it was a high risk move at the time. And that's that we noticed, I don't want to butcher his name, who was going for this first, but we noticed the first generation 100 cat get created, and now there's this kind of mini game that the community built around these generation 100 cats, where they're trying to make a fancy be generation 100 for extra, rarity. So now they're asking, can you hint or just talk about if there's ever going to be a generation milestone that creates a fancy? And if not, that'd probably be an interesting idea.
A generation milestone that hits a fancy.
One example being, if I make the first generation 1000 cat, can it be a fancy? Well, we can't really promise anything, but it's interesting though. So typically there's traits that have to be hit, right? Like you need to hit a combo to get that fancy to basically activate. So we don't know enough about it from a player standpoint to really understand when a fancy's created. But
well, so you're right about the fancies. Like there's a sort of recipe of traits that go into them. When we did the cat 250,000, the like sort of a involvement of Genesis that it was 250,000 we did that cat for. That was something sort of like a fancy, but it's the only one of its kind. So the idea that when you hit a generation milestone, we did another
like 500,000, right?
Where like the first person to hit the 150th generation or something like that is possible. It's definitely doable. Whether or not we'll do it, I definitely can't confirm or deny. It's a really interesting idea. I'm gonna write that one down too.
But good feedback nonetheless. I agree.
But yeah, so unfortunately we don't have Layne for the whole day. So I don't know, is there anything you would like to say to wrap us up? And then we'll probably call it the day for Layne. But
Sure,
just so you guys know, we will be having more interviews today with various members of the team on this stream.
Awesome. I look forward to it. I'm excited to meet you guys. I think this is a big moment for the players too, to see faces and put some names to faces and kind of get a little bit more personal. So thank you guys for coming on, and again, thank you for letting us stream this. This is an amazing opportunity for me as well, and thank you, Layne, for coming on. Nice to meet you.
They all seem to like you a lot, Layne.
Let's take a look at my account and the baby.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry, there's so many comments
here.
Well, I guess just wrap it up. It was really great to meet all of you. Glad that you got to put a face to a name. I'll be around all day because I do work here. So if you guys have more questions or whatever, Elsa can grab me back. But I should probably get back to doing some research and finding a way to make it super interesting for you to keep breeding these cats. Thank you for all of the suggestions. We do really, truly care about them, and we do take them into consideration. So this has been so much fun. Thanks for being awesome, guys.
All right.
Yeah, have fun with the game.
See you guys later. Bye.
Okay. Bye.